Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spiritual Readiness and the Time of the Shift. I had the opportunity yesterday to have lunch with a healer friend of mine who's also a high-level intuitive and channel, and we were able to kind of compare notes as to what energetically is happening around the planet right now. Because sometimes I tend to be a recluse and remain very isolated in my own world. And it's good to go outside every once in a while and communicate with others and try to feel energetically what we're picking up collectively. Two things that we agreed upon was that we both were having nightmares of very dark and sinister, catastrophic global stuff that were happening. And there was also a sense simultaneously of having these incredible ecstatic moments where you literally feel like you're in complete rectitude and verticality. To me, these moments are so extraordinary that if I am in a building, the moment I step outside of the building, I feel like there's a flashlight above me. Like all of a sudden I grow and I become very tall. And I'm in such alignment and such peace and such serenity that I know I am supported and I'm fine and everything is okay. But equally terrifying, oppositely terrifying, or I should say, there are moments where I begin to feel a foreboding, a kind of outside presence. It's not even a presence, an outside force, that's the right term, coming toward me and encroaching into my space. Now, my friend was saying how terrified she is because of this. And one of the practices that I've been teaching my students, my clients, don't be afraid of it. Sit, say the whole Ho'oponopono to this energy, to that sensation. Please forgive me. I love you. And I let go. And keep breathing deeply and allow yourself to become neutral to that energy so that you can begin to see what it represents. Because if you're charged, if you're emotionally charged because of it, you're not going to see it. The fear of it will block you from having any higher understanding and perception. Now, I know that a lot of other light workers, students, clients, or having suicidal thoughts, or they have situation in their life that they think is pushing them toward those kind of conclusions. And I have to say to you, a lot of it has to do with what's happening right now. Let me explain. As per the channeling I did about a month ago, my last posting on this channel, my last video, had a link to a video that I did about this. So as per this channeling, multiple parallel realities are competing to amass as many souls as possible as we're about to cross the galactic equator. And when that crossing occurs, human beings will be passed out. It's like a liquid that's going through the stage of clear solution that's about to precipitate, where the solution becomes cloudy and then a residue begin to form in it. So things will shift and people will congregate and will separate out. So, and there were multiple possibilities. For example, if the fear that you're feeling is about you being a fake, inauthentic, or you feeling that you're not living your real life, it's the fear that you're feeling is that you're constantly sponging or absorbing other people's energy. Your focus is in the outside. It's not within you. You're not giving yourself any worth. Your worth is directly connected to what people think of you. Performance driven. If your fear is about your finances, money, your fear of being in debt, of being destitute, of not having enough, all of these separate fears identify each one of them with a separate parallel reality. Okay? Now, all of these parallel realities are trying to amass people by creating outside echoes or outdoor events that will cause all of us to begin to react emotionally, either for or against. And as long as we're reacting, we are trapped into the vortex of that energy, and that energy will take us horizontally. Now, let me be very, very clear. The channeling said very specifically that all of these parallel realities are occupying the same space. And that space is not a space outside in some other country or some other community. The space is within us. It is through our emotion and the trigger of our emotional body that we will either identify with a very specific parallel reality. And as this occurs, you're going to go into that vortex. Is this the ascended tomorrow? No, none of them are, because they're all going horizontally. You know, the feeling of ecstasy I keep telling you that I have, where I feel like a giant flashlight is above me, and I feel very vertical and I'm completely at peace and in serenity. That's dimensional ascension. That's elevation. That's very different. Dimensional shift is very different than parallel shift. Parallel shift is completely horizontal. Dimensional shift is completely vertical. But for the verticality to happen, you have to take care of the horizontality first. Within yourself, like for example, if I am being triggered, for example, by some sort of economic news that's causing me to worry about my finances, that trigger of me worrying about my finances, that fear exists in me. So the group body, the collective of all souls who are worried about their finances, that group body is coded in me. And in order for me to be able to release and let go and not be connected to that fear, I have to resolve within myself and reconcile that fear that exists in me. If the fear is about me not being authentic and being a fake and lying to everyone about who I am and what I am and not being true, that vortex, when it's mirrored back to me, and by the way, several people that I know have committed suicide because of this. So when that vortex begins to trigger and cause people to react internally and begin to give you these negative thoughts that you're so fake, you're a lie, you'll never be anything, and that you think that the only thing that you can have to do is to step out of this reality by killing yourself. You have to go within. And one of the things that I do when I get these triggers is I ask myself, I sit down, I breathe, I sit on open up the feeling over and over again. Please forgive me, I love you, and I let go. Please forgive me, I love you, and I let go. And then I ask myself, is this coming from me or is it from the outside? In other words, what part of this feeling is mine and how much of it is from the outside? And sometimes I ask, what's the percentage is me? And when I say saying it's me, what percentage of this is mine? Do I own 25% and 75% from the outside, or do I own the whole thing? And if I can identify this, it can help me resolve and see, because a lot of time, the feeling that you're experiencing because, let's say, of financial worries, okay? Or if you had an abuse, like the Me Too movement has caused a lot of people who were suppressing sexual abuse to all of that stuff to come in. And if you had had multiple experiences, what happened is that when you're triggered with one thing, it is not that just that one instance that you feel. The feeling becomes culminative. It's like an accordion. Every other experience claps and all of them come all at once and you get overwhelmed. And if you belong to the group body, you also experience the entire group body. No wonder people are out of sort and falling apart. But for you that I'm doing this video, for you the way showers, you should be working in your emotional mastery. okay? And it's a huge blind spot in the Ascension and the Light community. Many people are giving a talk. They have skill set, they are psychic, they're intuitive, they are Reiki masters, they are this, they are that, they are the other, but they are not emotionally mature. Their trauma is still there. They are the wounded healer, and they are not capable. And it will not be able, it doesn't matter what you think you are intellectually and what you think you are energetically. At the galactic equator crossing, it's what you are energetically and emotionally. The energy that reads the loudest. This is where you're gonna go. So if you're emotionally identified with, let's say, financial worry or abuse or inauthenticity, wherever you identify, that's where you're gonna go. None of it is vertical. Once you've resolved the horizontality problem, you can begin to cultivate the 144 divine virtues. And this, my friend, is a ascension yoga that I teach. And I can't do a video about it. I can't teach it on Facebook like I'm doing with the Wisdom Council. It's too in-depth. And for that to happen, it requires a commitment on the part of the student to me as the teacher, because I'm going to invest a tremendous amount of time. And keep in mind that this kind of yoga used to take multiple lifetimes to teach. Given the fact that we're living to the quickening, I can teach this now in years. And I require a certain level of commitment. I'm trying to do this to the Wisdom Council by winning out the people who are really serious, who are really going in depth, who are really following the teaching that I'm giving, which are all prep work to get to this yoga. And then the moment I have the remainder, the people who are really serious, then I will begin to teach them privately. Not on Facebook. I'm gonna take them out of Facebook into privately and begin to teach them on a separate site on where it's more secure, the actual yoga, so that they can begin, because Pierre cannot do it alone. I am also being pulled here and there. I catch it very quickly because I know how to identify negative emotion and how not to judge it, because I'm teaching emotional intelligence. I can pick it up very quickly and I can resolve it and reconcile it very quickly. And all my students, my event students, the very few that I have now for almost 10 years, they can do it very quickly. And this is what the skill set that the true way showers need to provide and align themselves to, so that we can become the true herald and the true anchor for the celestial rod of God. And we can take humanity by entrainment, by radiating the verticality that we know to the rest of the world. We can ground the energy and we can give humanity an opportunity to hear a frequency and a vibration that they have not heard in a very long time. You're all getting me excited. Anyway, that's all I have for you this week. If this interests you, please subscribe below, like this video, and click on the bell icon so that you'll be notified when I post the succeeding videos. You all have a blessed day, and share if this is aligns with your desire. Blessing, everyone.